For the longest time, I wondered why so many people were interested in this game. What even was Wingspan? I finally chose to pick up a copy and give it a try. After reading the instructions, I really thought that I understood part of the charm. I felt like I would be a bird watcher, constantly discovering new wildlife and exotic species. After becoming intrigued by both the theme and mechanics of the game, I was finally able to convince my husband to play it with me. My review of Wingspan will be based off of this 2-player game that we tried. I understand that each game has a different dynamic depending on the number of players, so keep that in mind. Now that I finally had a chance to play the game, I'm going to share some thoughts. On the bird identification side of things, this game is extremely well researched. The game includes over 100 species, and specifically 170 of the 914 species found in North America. Not only that, but every card tells you a little bit about the bird, including where it lives, what it eats, and what type of nest it has. It's unusual when a game is fun and satisfying in the game mechanic way, but also tries to teach you something at the same time. Another element that ended up being a pleasant surprise was the pace of the game. There are 4 rounds, but each round has fewer turns than the former. This really makes it feel like the game is constantly ramping up and that every turn is important. In fact, the best way to play the game is to think several turns ahead. Another part of this pacing element is that turns are really quick. You only have 4 different options. You can either play a bird by spending its cost in food and eggs, gain food from the bird feeder, lay eggs, or draw cards. Even later in the game, when you end up activating a lot of bird cards with any action that you choose, no turn is very long and the game feels like it's constantly moving, constantly going, and has a fast pace that gets more and more engaging as the game goes on. The mechanics of the game can also go by pretty smoothly. Between drafting bird cards, activating bird powers, and working towards goals, there are many different strategies to be utilized and played, and many different strategies to earn points. And with the fast pace of this game, it feels like every move counts. The highest compliment I can give this game is how it makes a card drafting strategy game very accessible. I read the whole rule book, but I really didn't have to, as they have a simpler rule page that teaches you everything you have to know. Not only is it a really easy game to learn if you have to do so from the instruction manual, but it's a great game to hit the table with new players and very simple to teach. This is really unique and important as it has a complexity that you would want in a game, but you'll be able to play it with people who haven't played it before, and I would feel like they would still have a fairly decent chance because it really isn't that complicated to understand how to play, even though there's a lot of layers and levels to moves you can take. So although I was very confused as to all this hype this board game was getting, I get it. I liked it quite a bit. So I'm not gonna say it's like my favorite board game ever, because for me it was just a tiny bit linear, like this happens, then this happens, and then this happens. So it's kind of had like a really structured format, and sometimes I like games where you can kind of go out and do a couple different type formatty things. I don't know if that makes sense. But other than that, no, it was solid. I liked it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. So it definitely was worth the hype, and it is actually good. So definitely worth it. Gonna hit the table more at my house and with my friends. So glad that I took the time out of my week to play this game. If you're a fan of Wingspan, please let me know why in the comments. And if you have not done so already, check out my review on Evolution Climate. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.